on X-Men, the podcast that looks at X-Men comics, movies, shows, characters, and more. I'm Hillary.
I'm Nick.
And we're back with an X-Men Evolution episode. Yes, that's very good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
Today's episode is Turn of the Rogue.
Yeah.
So you can imagine who it's about.
Yeah.
And
Do you remember that song, Return of the Mac?
Yes.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, I think I only know that from the 90210.
That was 90s music got me like.
Oh, it was?
Yes. Retired Radio Meanwhile show.
Yeah, I don't think I knew anything
90s
about
music
that.
got me
And then
like,
you
yeah.
guys were talking about it as if it were a thing that everybody knew.
Oh, it's a thing. Yeah, people know it.
I don't know.
People know it.
I don't think they
Turn
do.
of the Rogue.
Turn of the Rogue. First aired February 3rd, 2001.
Okay.
What a time.
So long ago.
This was directed by Boyd Kirkland and written by Greg Johnson.
That's right.
We've got a new character, I guess.
Yeah.
The science teacher, Mr. Rodetsky.
Yes.
He's voiced by Richard Newman. He also voices M. Bison in the
Yeah.
Street Fighter series. Does that mean
Yes.
something to you? M. Bison?
You're saying it. So you're saying M. Bison the way they say Xavier in this. Yeah, M. Bison is like the villain of Street Fighter. In the movie, which we did on the Retired Radio Meanwhile show, Three Nice Things, he's played by Raul Julia. But yes, he is like in
Oh.
a military uniform.
I have never heard of this person.
He's got the
like I
scissor
know
leg kick.
I know the Raul Julia character, so
Oh,
I guess
okay.
that's
That's
him.
M. Bison,
But I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe they just never said his name.
I loved, like, Super Street Fighter 2 was the one for me on Sega Genesis. I played it all the time. But, I mean, I've never met a Street Fighter I didn't like. But I have never seen an episode of
The cartoon?
the cartoon. I saw the movie. I saw Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li with Kristen Krug.
Yes. Weird casting.
But I've never seen that cartoon. But this guy, he comes back, but I don't think we see Mr. Rodetsky again. But he's going to show up again in season 2 as Dr. Ramirez, and then finally he settles in as Omega Red in season 4.
Yeah, the voice was familiar. I think he's sort
Yeah.
of just a working voice actor.
Yeah.
Like he shows up all over
Yeah,
the place.
it seemed like it.
Yeah. He was a good voice actor, not a good science teacher.
No,
As it
not
turns
really.
out.
Not really. Well, I mean, in his defense, he's supposed to be driving the bus and teaching science. No other
He
chaperones.
knows what he signed up
That's really
for.
not.
He's with the good kids, though.
That's
like
not
these
fair.
are the geology
Yeah, I
club.
guess the science kids.
Come on.
The science kids. Yep.
This was released in the DVD collection X Marks the Spot, so
Yeah.
one of those random
I think this is.
DVD releases.
What is this? Episode 7? Episode 8? So this has got to be volume 3
I
at this
don't know.
point? Because there's like 3 episodes per. So yeah, this would be the start of the 3rd volume on DVD. So
I used to
weird.
find these at Sam Goody
Oh, yeah.
and FYE.
Yep.
So very excited.
I think they had kind of a circuit when like Family Dollar and places like that started
That's
getting
true.
DVDs.
Also very excited when I saw those.
I remember seeing these, and I remember seeing like a lot of VHS of Back to the Future, the animated series,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a good show.
I wish that we could package up the feeling of not being able to see something
I know.
whenever you feel like
I know,
it.
yeah,
You know, the
yeah.
excitement that we would get when we found DVDs of like an anime or
Mhm.
something, because like there's no other way.
Yeah,
And kids these days
I know.
can just
Well-
go online and find whatever they want.
Yeah, I remember like going to the there was a chain of grocery stores in Michigan called Felsposh, and
Okay.
they all had like video rooms, where you could go and rent
Mhm.
videos. So we go there all the time, and I would constantly rent Clue, the
Mhm.
movie, The Three Amigos, Mystery Science Theater, the movie,
hmm
and they package multiple episodes of the Flash live action series into a movie length,
Weird.
and they would put it out there like as Flash the movie, and I
Weird thing for
rented
you to
those a million times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a
It's
good
just
feeling.
like, I'm not trying to be like kids are so dumb. I just think that's a really fun feeling that I
Yeah.
remember. And I wish that other people, that like people now could feel it.
Well, honestly, I feel like that's kind of coming back because the way streaming deals
That's
go
true.
and everything, it's like, oh, this is not available anywhere.
Things
so
just disappear.
you better hope you have a VCR.
Our X-Files segment, we have Maggie Blue O'Hara, who's playing Kitty,
What a great name.
like Kitty.
Yeah.
And she's done a lot and has done multiple versions of My Little Pony.
Oh, okay.
So she's Sweetheart in the 1992 series, My Little Pony Tales, and she's Strawberry Sunrise in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Okay. I feel like you're the right age to have gotten in on the My Little, maybe slightly too young, but
I
like,
think I'm too young.
did you never have like a My Little
No,
Pony era?
my sister, my older sister, who's 5 years older than me,
Okay.
had My Little Ponies.
Okay.
And I
I
sort of
guess-
inherited those, but we
Yeah.
never watched the shows. at
Okay.
all. So
I mean, I loved Care Bears. I loved watching
I liked
Care
Care
Bears.
Bears.
The Care Bears movies were kind of edgy. So they were creepy. They were creepy.
oh my gosh.
They were. People know
Wow.
what I'm talking about.
The Care Bears were edgy.
Edgy, yeah.
So anyway, back to this episode.
Yes.
It starts a little confusing, but you pretty quickly work out
Right.
that they're in a danger room
Mhm.
setup. So like the kids are trying to break into some facility, and
Right.
Storm and Wolverine are dressed up like they're guards.
Yeah.
So they're taking him out and doing
Right.
all this stuff, and they go to rescue who they, I guess, think is Storm between all of these like lasers
Yeah.
and all this
Very
stuff.
like Mission Impossible.
Very
or
Mission Impossible.
Entrapment back in the day.
They get to the shrouded figure, and it
Yeah.
turns out to be Rogue, and she
Yeah.
grabs Scott and takes his powers, and
Mhm.
she blasts Nightcrawler, and
Mhm.
they're all like, "What? This is crazy!" They stop the
Yeah.
session
Yeah,
or
Scott's
whatever.
like computer arch, and then
Yes,
it ends.
and Scott is very upset about this.
Yeah.
He's like, "This came out of nowhere. Why are we using Rogue? This is
Yeah,
so
like
weird."
why is she in the program? Why are you throwing this in here?
Yeah,
And Professor X is basically like, hey, that's life, baby.
yeah.
You know,
Surprises happen.
things happen. I was confused about this danger room technology.
It's like a holodeck.
But then why are Wolverine and Storm like cosplaying?
Well,
like our villains?
probably because
you know?
they want people who are like at the end of the session,
Right.
Wolverine sneaks up on them and
Right.
like does. I think they're just because they're actual people.
Right.
They're like doing specific things to throw them.
So the
off and
X-Men
stuff.
don't trust AI either.
No,
Okay.
no, they don't. That
That's
would just be
That's
boring.
it's a good reminder for us all.
Yeah.
Back at the school, we see everybody lining up, and we get the sense that it's field trip day.
Yeah, they're going on a field
We
trip.
see a bus. We see who we learn is Mr. Rodetsky. And
Rudetsky,
he's, taking names, getting everybody on the bus, because it's field trip day.
Cyclops, and Jean are heading to the bus, and Jean's like, "Why were you so upset about this
Mhm.
rogue thing?" And Cyclops makes what I think is an excellent point.
I would agree.
He's like, "We shouldn't be training to fight her while we're also trying to befriend her in
Yeah.
real life. Like,
Yeah.
that's just a weird thing for us to be doing."
It
and
is
that's
weird.
so true.
It is weird. Like, it doesn't have to be Rogue for anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if that was the same thing, they're expecting to rescue Storm, and it turns out to be somebody like double crossing them, or,
Yeah,
or it's
could
like,
be
it's
anything.
not Storm, it's a bad guy. You know,
Right.
it doesn't have to be Rogue. It just seems like needlessly
Inflammatory.
divisive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
So I think that's nice. And you get the sense that Cyclops has just like he likes Rogue.
Yeah.
He seems to, particularly out of all of them, Cyclops seems to be the one who really wants to get her.
And I was trying to decide in this episode if there were vibes, if he liked her.
The way I've been seeing it is
Yeah.
that it feels to me like a genuinely high school thing.
Yeah.
Where like I think that they have like they seem to have a strong draw towards each other, and
Mhm.
they themselves seem to not be sure
Yeah.
if that means that they like want to date or
Yeah.
if they just want to be friends. Like they just
Because later they share a little look on the bus, and to me that felt a little like everybody's checking vibes.
Yeah.
So, it reminded me of, remember that episode of the original series where, I don't remember what happens, but ultimately Rogue has to take Cyclops' powers.
Mhm.
Or she does mouth to mouth on him and
Yeah.
takes the powers. And then he's like, "Oh, thank you, Rogue." And she's like, "Yeah, we should do it again sometime." And he's like, "Oh, And as a kid, I was like, "Ooh."
Ooh.
So it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're having this conversation out in the open, and Darkholm overhears this and just runs right to Rogue and is like, "Guess what the X-Men are doing? Using you as a bad guy in their little program."
Yeah. I liked Rogue's reaction because I feel like it would have been very easy to just run with this storyline.
Yeah.
Where it just like Darkholm tells her that they're using her in the game, and she's just like, "What? How could they?" But
Yeah.
she doesn't. She sort of like takes a beat and is like, "But why would
Yeah,
they
why would
do
this-
that?
this make any
like,
sense?
what
Yeah.
are you even talking about?"
Yeah.
She doesn't immediately trust it. So it's there. It's like
Yeah.
percolating in her head, but it's not just a immediate "how dare they"
Mhm.
kind of reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to telling Rogue about this, Darkholm also orchestrates this insane thing where Jean, the teacher
Yeah.
tells Jean that she can't go on the trip because she's been absent too much.
Right. And Cyclops is like, "Hey, those are all excused absences." And he's like, "I don't make the rules, kid."
Yeah.
So Jean's out. Guess who's in, Hillary?
Rogue. Rogue. Rogue is
Rogue.
in.
Yes.
She gives a little look
Yep.
like, hey,
Yep.
here I am. So they're on the bus.
Yep.
Back at the mansion, Xavier is twiddling his thumbs, just
Uh-huh.
hanging around,
Yeah.
and he goes to close a window, and things are seeming a little fishy, and then he gets pushed back
Mhm.
against his desk
Mhm.
because Magneto is there,
Yeah.
lurking in the window, I guess.
hmm
Xavier calls him Magneto, which I thought was kind of unusual. Usually, especially
Does he
in
call
these,
him
he
Eric
does.
in the animated series?
Especially in one-on-one settings.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
if they're in a battle or something, he'll probably say Magneto.
Yeah.
But like this is just like in his room,
Right.
and like I would have expected him. But maybe they're not sure if they're gonna do that
Yeah.
relationship or not at this stage.
Yeah,
I don't know.
could
But
be.
they calls him Magneto anyway. And Magneto is like, hey, I'm impressed with how your kids are developing. Do they know all of your secrets? And
Mhm.
Xavier's like, shut up.
hmm
And then that's the end of the scene.
This was very Dark Shadows. You know that supernatural soap opera Dark Shadows? Just the lighting, the way he's in there, and he like turns and Magneto's in the window, and it was like Barnabas Collins. So I thought it was funny. It was very melodramatic, that scene.
So, but that lays the groundwork for there being a secret
Yes.
that he's keeping from the kids.
Yes. At this point, we cut back to the field trip, and the weather is just getting worse and worse. And
Snowing.
I think it's snowing, yeah. And I think that's just coincidence. But I'm a little confused because they're all like, nobody's wearing winter clothes or anything.
They're
just,
not,
like,
but they're towing. The bus is towing snowmobiles.
Snowmobiles.
So I think that the plan was to drive the bus up into the mountain.
like literal mountains.
Because it's a geology thing. They're going to go to a cave and look
Okay.
at things.
All right.
So I think that they're driving up the mountain and they brought snowmobiles, I guess, to go
Yeah.
the rest of the way to the cave or
Yeah.
something. But the snow gets really, really bad and the bus gets out of control. Scott sneaks a little eye blast
Yeah.
to help stop the
Yeah,
the
he
bus from
basically
going off a
makes
cliff.
he makes a berm so the bus kind of like glides
it's
along
pretty-
the side
it's
of it
pretty
rather
smart.
than going over the
I
edge.
I wondered if he was just gonna like push,
Yeah,
but this was better.
yeah, it was.
And Rogue sees him do that and is sort of appreciative
This
of
is
him
where they have their
saving
look.
everybody.
This
They
is
have
where
a
they
little
have
look.
their little look.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have a look. So then, what's his name? Radesky
Yeah,
is just freaking out and like,
yeah.
we're
He's
gonna
like,
have
who's,
to
who's
turn
gonna
around.
push? Who's gonna push this bus?
And then Rogue stands up and victoriously says, well, why don't we take the snowmobiles the rest of the way to the cave?
Right.
And then we'll just wait out the weather. And everyone's
Right.
like, yeah, great idea.
the budget of this school, where every kid gets a snowmobile,
Every kid.
pretty.
Well, it's for
pretty
every two
chic.
kids.
Every two
A
kids.
snowmobile for
Sorry.
every two kids.
Sorry.
Maybe they're rentals. We don't
Yeah,
know.
they could be. They could be.
So they decide that that's what they're going to do.
Mhm.
Back at the mansion, the adults are thinking about, they're discussing, I guess it's Xavier and Wolverine.
And Storm.
Is Storm there?
Mhm.
Are talking about, okay, so we know that Darkholm is Mystique, and we haven't been telling the kids. Xavier says, how am I supposed to tell them that this principle that they're supposed to respect is also their enemy? And I'm just
Right.
like, I mean, just tell, you
Just
just tell them
just
that.
tell them that. Maybe look at a transfer situation. You know,
Right?
Maybe
Like,
go to a
why is
different
this
school,
happening? This is a bad situation all
it's
around.
not good. Yeah.
But I think that they're just trying to get this common storyline of Xavier hiding things from the X-Men, but in like a high school setting.
right.
I suspect they
I guess
could
I
have
just
done
never
better,
really-
but this is fine.
I've committed no thought to thinking about the fact that Xavier knows this, but the kids don't know this. Like, I just never really put those things
Did
together.
we know that Xavier knew?
I don't.
I think this is the first time we
Okay.
hear that.
I thought maybe that happened on an
No,
Eric
I
episode
don't
and I
think
just
so.
missed it.
No, I think this
Okay.
is the first we're hearing
All
of
right,
it.
all right.
And not only Xavier, but apparently all of them.
Mhm.
All of the adults
They all know. Yeah.
know that Mystique is there.
Yeah.
And like, they also know that Mystique is acting against them with other students
Right.
and like trying to manipulate those other students. And the kids just don't understand.
It seems worthy of mentioning.
He should have said something.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yep.
But anyway, so they're just trying to decide what they should do.
Yeah. Back on the
Um,
field trip, we make our way into the cave, and Mr. Radetsky is like, hey, you know what? We came here to study geology, and look at all this geology.
Metamorphic
So
rock.
he's walking around talking about the different rocks and everything.
Rogue sneaks off, and Cyclops sees this and kind of goes off looking for her. And once they're out of earshot, I guess, she kind of sneaks up on him and is like, hey, I need to know what's going on, man.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? And he's like, I just want your friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, but you're using me as an enemy in your thing.
It's pretty damning.
Darkholm told me.
It's pretty damning.
And he's like, but I
But
But
I know I'm making a lot of dated references in this episode, and I'm not sorry about it. But during this confrontation, underneath, there's some serious Full House music playing.
That's
it
true.
Gets very like, hey, on a very special
Yes.
X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, it is very much
So,
like that.
It cracked me up.
So they're starting to try to like get through this misunderstanding, and Darkholm bursts onto the scene. She comes in as a boy, as Paul.
As like his friend Paul, who was on the snowmobile with him.
Yes. And then becomes Darkholm, and then becomes Mystique. So
Right.
she's doing a big reveal to
Right.
Scott. She's like, look at me, here I am.
Which she says to show him what Xavier is keeping from him.
Right.
But I feel like that was kind of working in your favor, like having that
Yeah.
anonymity. So I don't really
I don't know.
understand her play with this.
I mean, it must be coming from Magneto because he's the one that is the first one to say anything about it in
Sure.
the episode. So I think that he probably instructed her that, like, now is the time
What a pot
to
stirrer,
drive a wedge
right?
between them. So she reveals this to Scott,
Mhm.
but then also she pushes him off a cliff
Yeah.
and seems to be intending for him to die.
Yeah, but that's what I don't understand. Then what's the point of revealing
Right,
it
that's
to
what I was gonna
expose
say.
Xavier?
Yeah.
Rogue also, I feel like, tried to kill Scott when they were on the snowmobile.
On the snowmobile, she
really
did.
tries to like push him
Although
off the edge.
it was after she saw him handle the situation with the bus, so she might be thinking
Okay.
she knows what he can do.
Okay.
Paul, however,
Yeah.
maybe couldn't handle.
Right, but that was Mystique.
Yeah, but Rogue didn't know
Right.
that.
True. Right. Good point.
Anyway, so Scott has been pushed off a cliff.
Yeah.
Rogue is very upset about
We
this.
assume he's dead. I assume he's dead.
Yes, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
This is too much for Rogue. And Mystique weirdly still seems to think that she can continue to manipulate Rogue about this.
Right.
But Rogue is like, no more secrets. And she grabs
Takes
Mystique's
the glove
arm.
off. Yep. Grabs her arm.
And she has another one of her great lines. She's
Yeah.
like, your powers are mine. Your memories are mine.
Yeah.
It's very strong.
Yeah. It is.
And she gets all of her memories.
I like
and
that Mystique knows this is how her powers work, and it never crossed her mind that it might be used against her. You know?
I think she thought that she had her.
Okay.
She doesn't
Yep.
seem hesitant about it at
Yep.
all. But so she absorbs her powers and her memories. Mystique is down for the count. We find that Cyclops is hanging from
A ledge.
a ledge
Classic.
down the cliff.
Classic.
And Rogue jumps down. She's Mystique's
She
form.
turns into Mystique.
So
yeah.
that you have kind of a moment of like, oh no, Mystique's
Right.
coming down to get him, but then turns to Rogue.
I wasn't sure if that
and
was
saves
just
him.
like she's losing control of the powers,
It
or
must
if there was
be.
a purpose to be Mystique.
It must be. I think it was just cinematic.
Yeah.
I think that they just liked the idea of it looking like Mystique was coming.
Because Mystique, clearly, I mean, her powers, she goes hog wild in this. She's a boll
Yeah.
weevil at one point. She just keeps turning into different things, and
Yeah.
it's confusing.
So she saves Scott, but he's hurt.
And Mystique shows up at the top of the ravine and
Mhm.
lifts a huge
Like
rock
the
over
biggest
her head.
rock I've ever seen.
Throws it down on them like Indiana Jones. And suddenly, now they're in like this underwater river, or underground river rapid.
hmm
Scott's hurt. They're trying to survive. I would think they'd be cold. And it's a classic. Like we get to the end and they grab the edge and everything.
Then they're on a stone bridge.
They're on a stone bridge. Yeah,
and
a lot of Indiana
Scott
Jones.
seems to be pretty much out.
He's got a big bruise on his head, so he clearly like took a lump.
So Rogue is, oh, I'm so sorry. I got her memories and I know you're not against me and all this stuff.
Yeah,
But she can't really move him and
Mhm.
he's just stuck there.
yeah,
So we find out that Xavier, Wolverine, and Storm are now flying to the mountain
Yeah.
in the jet
Yes.
because I guess Jean said that there was bad weather or something.
yeah. Okay.
And so they're going. Storm is doing a completely inadequate job
Yeah.
of managing this blizzard. She says, I'm a weather witch, not a snowplow, which is
Right.
fair, but also a weather witch would be able to control the weather.
The problem is weather. it's fully
So,
weather.
I don't
And
know.
it's not like magic weather. It's just snowing. And she's like, look, I don't know what you want me to do. Okay? I don't know what you want.
So I guess Storm is no help, but they're
No
flying in the jet. They think that they know where they are, but they can't find them specifically.
Mhm.
Xavier shoots out a message to Scott and is like, I don't know if you can hear me, but
Right.
we're coming. Back on the stone bridge, Scott hears this and is
Mhm.
like, they're coming. And Rogue's like, oh, sweet. Then Mystique becomes a wolf.
Yeah,
This is the kind of Mystique-ness that I don't like.
Genuinely shocked by this. I mean, I sort of knew. I remember you saying she turns into a bird, and I was like, "That's crazy." But when it happened, I was like,
in the comics.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, it just depends on the concept of her. I just don't. I don't like it.
I mean, I almost like a giant wolf. Okay, but like
then she's like a seagull later.
Yeah. It's that didn't make
Where
sense.
does
It's
the mask
so
go?
small. Yeah.
Where does the mask go?
We don't know.
But I also have to remember that we are also dealing in a world that has like magic.
True.
And mutant powers that are related to unscientific things. So whatever.
Well, remember, Ant-Man retains, like, when he gets smaller or bigger, like, it all just compresses. Density. And so who knows?
But that's the problem, because birds fly because they have low density.
Right. Yeah.
She wouldn't be able to fly.
She made her bones hollow briefly.
Saying.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway. So she is a wolf, and Rogue is dragging Scott along the bridge, trying to get away from her. She's basically just stalking. She doesn't really seem to do anything in this form.
Yeah. The X-Men can't quite find, like, the adults can't find where Scott and Rogue are. So Rogue takes his glasses off, and it's like, open your eyes. And so he does, and it bursts up in there. I thought for sure it was going to hit the Blackbird, but it didn't. Wolverine sees it, and they head that way. But now he's totally out again, and the wolf is coming for him. So she takes Scott's powers now and just blasts Mystique.
Mystique falls off the bridge, turns into a bird, and starts to fly back.
Yeah.
But then the Blackbird has found them.
Yeah.
And Wolverine is standing in the, in the opening of the jet and is like, hey, Mystique, I mean, you don't want to come up against me. Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't. And she flies
away. Yeah.
She flies away.
Yeah.
And there's like a close call with rocks falling, but they get back onto the jet and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Now we have kind of like the tough love Wolverine moment. Yeah. Because Rogue is huddled in the corner on the jet. He says, okay, so you just got to pick. Like, are you with us or are you with them?
Yeah.
And she's like, if I say them, are you just going to throw me off the jet? And he's like, nah.
Yeah, he's like, either we've earned your trust by this point or we haven't. So you just have to decide. And she's like, you.
Yeah. Which I like, because, like, I think he's the only one who would have pushed her on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think anybody else would have been like, whatever you want,
yes,
we'll take you home.
Think about it.
But it feels like a good moment for him to be like, look,
yeah,
you just got to pick.
Right.
And she did.
Yeah.
And that's good. Rogue is part of the X-Men now.
Hooray.
She seems pretty happy about it. So they go back, and the next thing we see is all the kids kind of yelling at Xavier for hiding this information about the principal.
Right.
And he cops to it. He's like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of stuff a lot of like surprises and things.
Yeah.
And some of them you're not going to be able to, like, you're not going to be ready to handle yet. But like, I think I messed this one up.
Yeah.
Like, this is one I should have shared.
Yeah, basically saying, I'm going to try to have better judgment about what to share and what not to share.
Which,
so
for Xavier is pretty great.
But it also felt on brand because he wasn't like, I shan't lie to you again.
True. That's true.
He was
but
like,
also, they're kids.
He was like, I'll try to curate my lies.
They're kids,
forward.
Like, it's different than when it's the X-Men as adults.
Yes.
Like, there really are things that you probably shouldn't share with children.
And we have this is sort of a classic cartoon moment where they're like, it's all honesty is key. Like, Rogue has this moment where they're like, what do you think, Rogue? And she's like, I couldn't. And Kitty's like, no, you're part of the family now. And she's like, you got to be honest with the people that you love. And Scott's like, that's what makes us X-Men. I'm like, does it?
No. The thing that makes us X-Men is that we're all still learning. That's what he says. We're
X-Men.
all still learning.
They're all still learning.
That's what makes us X-Men.
Okay. And that is the end of the episode.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I liked it. The last time we were talking about how, like, enough with the origin stories already, and I feel like this, we're 7 episodes in, so, I mean, this whole thing with Rogue has been dangling for a good long while, and now that it feels pretty resolved, it seemed earned. It seemed like they built up to it. There was no new, and this is Trevor. He turns into rocks. There was nothing like that. It was just, I felt like this was maybe like the first this is a story. This is a full story that we're telling.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And you get a good balance of it being action-packed mutant stuff and school. Like, it all feels cohesive.
Yeah. Still, I guess I'm still getting used to how light the X-Men side of it is,
Oh, yeah.
The only costumes we really saw were like when the adults show up, but they don't do anything. Literally, Storm does nothing. But the only time we see the rest of the crew is in the Danger Room scene, and there's not really like a big. It's just sort of Mystique screwing around with
you
people.
get more
so.
as it progresses,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is a lot more just like the kids living life.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I think that makes sense, especially at the time,
Yeah.
where if it just feels like, this was a little bit more in line with what things were doing. So, yeah. Good times were had by all.
I agree.
All right.
Well, next time we're going to be crossing over with This Endorian Life.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about Spider-Man 67, Phantoms from the Depth of Space.
Yeah, I
Wow.
got to give you a little bit of background on this.
Okay.
On This Endorian Life, Steve and I alternate between covering a classic Star Wars cartoon and then just finding some other thing based on an existing property. So we watched this Canadian show called Rocket Robin Hood, which is based on the Robin Hood legend, and it's like their descendants in the future in Canada, I guess. And it had a lot of shared DNA with the Spider-Man 67 series. And
Is that not a cartoon?
It is. It's a cartoon.
Oh.
Yeah, they both are cartoons.
Oh, okay.
But it's such a weird show. And episodes of Spider-Man 67 just took Rocket Robin Hood episodes later in the run and just got rid of Rocket Robin Hood and put Spider-Man on the cells. So we were
my gosh.
So we were like, we have to see one of these because they're so trippy.
That's
and
crazy.
Obviously, Steve was like, we can't do a Marvel show without previously on X-Men. So
I appreciate that.
So Rocket Robin Hood remixed as Spider-Man.
That's the craziest thing.
Hey, if it saves a little coin,
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It should be interesting.
Well, that's what we'll be doing next time. And then
Okay.
after that, we'll have episode 8 of X-Men Evolution, Spike Cam.
Spike Cam.
The cam is making me nervous.
Yeah. It's probably just going to be like he's vlogging, It's like 2001. He's probably
Yeah.
like, hey, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
It's me. It's your boy Spike.
That's good.
Something like that.
Okay, then. Thank you to Prophetic Music for our theme song. Previously on X-Men is brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Current shows on the network include This Endorian Life and 90210 Here We Go. Please rate, subscribe, or share this show wherever you get your podcasts. Bye.